Have you ever met someone who changed your life in just a few minutes and then disappeared without asking for anything in return? Sometimes, the greatest acts of kindness happen when nobody is watching. And sometimes, the person who saves your life doesn't want your money, your praise, or even your name. This is the unforgettable story of a single father whose compassion proved that a good heart is worth more than millions. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to Soul Touch Tales, give this video a like, and leave a comment telling us what kindness means to you. Your support helps us share more heartwarming stories that remind us the world still has good people. Now, let's begin. It was a chilly Tuesday morning in the quiet suburbs outside Seattle. 34-year-old Ethan Brooks was driving his old pickup truck with his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, beside him. Every morning, Ethan dropped Lily off at school before heading to his job as a maintenance worker. Life had not been easy since his wife passed away 4 years earlier. Between raising Lily alone, paying rent, and working overtime whenever possible, Ethan rarely had time for himself. But despite the hardships, he always taught Lily one lesson. Kindness costs nothing, he would tell her, but it can change someone's whole world. That morning, heavy rain covered the highway. Cars moved carefully through the slippery roads. Suddenly, Ethan noticed a luxury black SUV lose control after another driver suddenly changed lanes. The SUV spun across the wet pavement, slammed into the guardrail, and rolled onto its side. Traffic stopped. Many drivers slowed down. Some reached for their phones. But Ethan didn't hesitate. He parked safely on the shoulder and rushed toward the damaged vehicle while calling 911. "Lily, stay inside and lock the doors," he shouted. Smoke slowly drifted from the engine. Inside the SUV was a woman in her early 30s. Blood trickled down her forehead as she struggled to free herself from the seatbelt. Her hands trembled. "I can't get out," she whispered. "Don't worry," Ethan said calmly. "You're not alone." Using every ounce of strength he had, Ethan forced the damaged door open just enough to reach inside. Ignoring the rain soaking his clothes and the sharp pieces of broken glass cutting his hands, he carefully released her seatbelt. Seconds later, he helped carry her away from the vehicle. Only moments after they reached safety, the SUV burst into flames. Emergency crews arrived within minutes. The woman was taken to the hospital. Before leaving, one of the paramedics asked Ethan for his information. He simply smiled. "I'm just glad she's alive." Then he quietly returned to his truck. Lily looked at him proudly. "You saved her, Dad." Ethan smiled. "We just did what anyone should do." Neither of them knew the woman they had rescued was 32-year-old Victoria Carter, the CEO of one of America's fastest-growing technology companies. Her company was worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Yet none of that mattered during those terrifying moments on the highway. 2 days later, Victoria regained full consciousness. Doctors told her she had survived because someone had pulled her from the SUV before it caught fire. She asked for the man's name. Nobody knew. The police only had a partial description. A few weeks later, security camera footage from nearby businesses finally helped identify Ethan. Victoria immediately asked her assistant to arrange a meeting. When Ethan arrived at her company's headquarters, he felt completely out of place. The glass building stretched high into the sky. Employees hurried through polished hallways wearing expensive suits. Victoria welcomed him personally. She still carried a small scar near her forehead, but her warm smile filled the room. "I've wanted to thank you ever since that day," she said. "You don't owe me anything," Ethan replied gently. "But I owe you my life." She handed him an envelope. Inside was a check for $1 million. Ethan stared at it silently. Victoria smiled. "This can help your daughter. Buy a home. Build a better future." After several quiet seconds, Ethan slowly closed the envelope. "I'm grateful," he said, "but I can't accept it." Victoria looked shocked. "Why not?" "Because I didn't save you for money." She had spent years surrounded by people who always wanted something from her. Business deals, investments, favors, influence. For the first time in a long time, she met someone who wanted absolutely nothing. She couldn't stop thinking about him. Instead of giving up, Victoria asked if she could at least visit Ethan and Lily someday. A week later, she arrived at their small rented home carrying homemade cookies instead of expensive gifts. Lily welcomed her with a big smile. The tiny house was filled with laughter instead of luxury. Victoria watched Ethan helping Lily with homework while making dinner at the same time. she realized something surprising. Although they had very little, they appreciated every moment together. Over the following months, Victoria became a regular visitor. She and Lily planted flowers in the backyard. They baked cookies. They laughed over board games. For the first time in years, Victoria found herself slowing down and enjoying simple moments. One afternoon, she finally asked Ethan the question that had stayed in her heart. "Why did you really refuse the money?" Ethan looked at Lily playing nearby. "My daughter watches everything I do. If I teach her that kindness always deserves a reward, she'll stop helping people for the right reasons. I want her to believe that saving a life is simply the right thing to do." Victoria felt tears forming in her eyes. Those words stayed with her. A few weeks later, without telling Ethan, Victoria launched a nationwide foundation that quietly paid emergency medical bills for families facing financial hardship. She named it the Quiet Courage Initiative. The foundation never used Ethan's name publicly because she respected his wishes. But every time someone asked what inspired the project, Victoria simply smiled and said, "One ordinary father reminded me what extraordinary kindness looks like." Years passed. Thousands of families received help. Children stayed in school. Parents recovered from illness without losing their homes. One rainy afternoon, Lily, now a teenager, asked her father if he ever regretted turning down the $1 million. Ethan smiled as they watched raindrops fall outside their window. No, because money can change one family's life. But real kindness can inspire someone to change thousands. Lily hugged her father tightly. At that moment, Victoria happened to drive past their neighborhood after visiting another family helped by the foundation. She saw Ethan and Lily laughing together through the window. She smiled to herself. The greatest investment she had ever made wasn't in technology. It was in learning that kindness, when shared without expecting anything back, creates a ripple that never truly ends. And maybe that's the lesson we all need today. You don't have to be rich to change someone's life. You don't need fame, power, or success. Sometimes, all it takes is stopping your car, extending your hand, and choosing compassion over convenience. Because every act of kindness has the power to travel farther than we could ever imagine. If this story touched your heart, remember to share kindness wherever you go. You never know whose life you might save, or how far your compassion will ripple through the world. Until next time, keep believing in the goodness of people, and we'll see you again on Soul Touch Tales.